Here we are, guys. We're all set for, well, what we would think would be one of the biggest matches in the 8-ball bar table World Championships, and it's going to be between Bedhead and Frankel, and it's due to start in about 6 minutes time, and that will give us a little bit of time just to catch up on what's happened in the tournament, because we had a couple of matches that I streamed last night. This is a match we're waiting on, race to 11 on the winner's side, but there's a couple of matches I think have gone through. We've had a result come through with well, Wanwa or Fan against Bav, and a comfortable win by 9 racks to 3. And then if we go further down, now where's the other match that I missed? There's one from, I think it's between McClarkey and Senny. In fact, there's a match there between Tommy Yu and Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam hasn't turned up, or both players didn't turn up, and one's been advanced, and that's Tommy Yu, and he's got a match with Mr. Bill next. And we've also, there's the match from late on last night, and McClarkey managed to scrape through in a final rack decider against Senny. I said Senny would give somebody a good game, and well, McClarkey managed to scrape through, and so there's spots being filled on this one loss side, and there's going to be another one filled later on after this match, but who it's going to be we don't know. It is really hard to call between these two pairs. Both of them are top drawer on the 9-foot table, but again, so far there's been two fairly impressive players that I've seen so far, and that's Semi-Pro and Bedhead. And I haven't really caught a lot of Frankel because he hasn't been scheduling his matches. He's just been turning up and arranging a match when a player's in the lobby, hence I don't get the chance to catch them, but that's entirely up to the player's choice, whatever suits them. So we'll get a judge on how well Frankel's playing in this match, because I've yet to see him shoot, I think. Or maybe I have actually recorded a match on it, I can't remember. I think the tournament's been going that long I've forgotten already. So this is a fairly big showdown, but there's another big showdown coming for the winner of this match, because whoever gets through, they're going to be waiting to play Semi-Pro. Oh, I did. Oh, I did. I can't remember, it's that long ago. Again, I don't even remember how Frankel played in that match. He couldn't have been that impressive, because I don't think anything sticks in my mind. But anyway, we'll see how these players cope. Of course, race to 11, alternate break, no jump cues, and I think that pretty much covers it. Open table from the break. Once you get in, once you put the next ball in, you'll have made your choice as to what ball set you're going to go for. Welcome to anybody that's watching. If you haven't registered a name on Twitch, you won't be able to join the chat. If you feel free to do so, it would help if you joined with your Virtual Pool 4 name, that way I'd know who you are. So we've got probably another minute or so before the room goes up. The match has been set for 8:30, and that's British summer time, so that would be 3:30 PM Eastern Standard Time, and that would be what would it be, noon, 12:30 in the afternoon on the Pacific coast. And we've got about, what, 45 people in the lobby. Well, it's something you can do as well if you're actually playing virtual pool, or you're in a tournament. You can actually join the Twitch stream through the internal browser now as well, and it should run. Or you could join it through the external browser. Just tab and see how the match is going. But it's all going to be down to the luck on the break. It really is. I mean, when you've got two very good players, it's just going to be that little bit of luck and that little bit of bad luck, I think, that's going to make the difference. You know, you wouldn't really expect an awful lot of errors, but having said that, we've seen an awful lot of errors in one of the matches last night from two pretty good players. But you know, we put that down to the fact that they very rarely, if ever, have played on this table, and that's the biggest stumbling block for a lot of the players in the tournament. It's something that they're not used to. 9-ball tables are the most popular, certainly in Virtual Pool 4, and bar table pool puts up a whole different challenge. All the traffic, all the balls clustering together, and you certainly need to use all your imagination and your skill and trickery to get yourself out of situations, and it's going to be who's the best at doing that as well. So room should be going up any second now, and there we go, the room is up. We're going to dive in straight away. And Bedhead's in the room, so we'll get ready for the lag when Frankel decides to join. Well, here we go. Well, both players have got very similar cues here, so I don't know who's who here. I haven't the foggiest. So Bedhead has won the lag, and off we go. And this is a round 5 match on the winner's side, race to 11, alternate break. And immediately we have a dry break, so let's see how Frankel copes with this situation. And we'll have a quick look here, because we've got 2 balls married on the rail, the solid and the stripe, so that immediately there's a problem. Apart from that, if you look at this table looks pretty good for either set. Well, a ball went in, but we still haven't shot the second ball. In fact, a couple of balls have gone in. Are they both, and that's the problem, they're both solids. Oh no, one's a stripe and one's a solid, is it? The 6 balls are solid, that's right. So Frankel's chosen the solids, and well, there isn't a problem, not anymore. Now the 6 ball has gone, 3 ball down the bottom left, 2 over the bottom right, 1 ball to go, probably the 5 to follow, and maybe a combo in the 4 and the 2. Well, I don't know whether he played to come in behind that 5 and avoid it so he could get on it, but either way, he's still looking good. Good evening, Simon. Well, now you feel he's got to get rid of the 3 after this 4 ball and get the cue ball. Well, now that's gone a bit too far. The touch definitely wasn't there in that shot. He's dead straight in the 3, and is he on the right side of this 5? Yeah, he's okay. He can just stun it in and he'll be on the 8 ball. Well, these are just little testers, especially in the first rack, but he should nudge this in comfortable. So it's Frankel who takes advantage of Bedhead's dry break. Now here's where you can gain an advantage if you can get that ball in the break and get control of the table. Well, a ball has gone in. Now what went in? The 6 ball has gone, so that's 1 solid down. But the 8 ball is in an awkward place, and the 4 and the 10 are very adjacent to it. So we see there's a slight problem up at that end of the table, and he's dead straight on this 3, so he can only either go forward slightly, which I don't think will gain him much, or he could come back. And now he's got no shot. Blocked out in the 4 and can't see. Well, he can see the edge of his 1 ball. He might even be able to cut that into the middle, but it's a risky shot because the cue ball's then running, and he's got no idea really where the cue ball's going to finish up. But it looks like he can cut it. So, very early into the rack, Frankel's got himself out of line. Now, what is he actually left here for Bedhead? And the answer is not an awful lot. The 9 ball certainly goes. And if you can drop onto the 12, it will go. And then he would have to take the 11, you would think. Well, he's going to try and take care of these balls at this end first, bearing in mind the 8's up there, but of course the 10 ball is an issue, which he could deal with if he takes the 12 and sends the 10 down the table. So that's maybe the plan, but he's the wrong angle on the 15. And he's still got the wrong angle on the 14, so he's going to have to draw with maybe English to try and come over here for this 15, this 13 ball. That's a possibility. Let's have a look. No, he couldn't do that. He's getting Tyler the wrong angle. He would be running into the 2 ball, so he might be able to do it off the 11, but I don't know whether he can avoid nudging this 2 onto the 11. And he's taking his eye off the ball.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Well, that's a miscue and an unforced error by Bedhead, and Frankel is ready to pounce. So let's see what happens. And these balls are sitting absolutely perfect. It's just a bit dropping on them. It's the same old thing that we say. You just got to join the dots and find your way out. And it's gone wrong again. He didn't want that. He still got a shot in the 5, but that is definitely not what he played for. And he can't cut that 4 from there, so he's got to get good, and he can't just let this cue ball run, because he's going to collide with the 13. But if he does, he might have a shot in the 7, but that's just relying on luck. And he doesn't want to be relying on luck if he's going to start running racks. Oh, good evening, Popman. Welcome aboard. So, again, the other thing as well, no shot clock, so the best thing to do is take your time and get it clear in your head exactly what you're going to do, rather than just bashing at a ball. But he's going to have to draw away from this to try and avoid the 13. As I say, it's risky to run into the 13 and rely on getting on that 7. Well, in the end, he's ran into the 13, couldn't avoid it, so now he's got the problem. And he has this cut on the 7, and it's going to have to be with a fair bit of English to try and get this cue ball to do something, to have a shot in that 4. Very difficult shot. And all he's looking for now is some place to hide, somewhere behind that 8 ball. The other thing that's best to do sometimes is just take your medicine and run, and not do anything over ambitious, and they did the right thing there. And that is pretty good, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah. It's not bad. He's saying poor, if only for the fact that Bedhead can see the 13, but he's certainly not going to do an awful lot with it. And Frankel's got an easy kick on the 4. Oh, good evening, Tin. Well, Frankel didn't get that little bit of luck he was looking for. In fact, he's actually fouled, so ball in hand to Bedhead. So, well, barring he doesn't make a miscue again, he should be running this rack to square the match. So it wasn't a bad effort by Frankel, but just that little bit of the little edge of the 13 ball sticking out there. Didn't quite get it locked up in the 8. But as I say, if you just turn up cold and you haven't spent a lot of table time, then you have to find that pace for the table to play those little delicate shots. Well, he doesn't want to be straight on this 11 ball, and if anything he might just draw back and take that 11 into the right middle, or run through and take it into the right middle. He's taking a risk leaving things straight, so coming out into the table means it's a lot simpler. You could pot the 11 with a bit of inside and he's still got a decent enough shot in the 13. So it's going to be one rack all, and a couple of errors so far from both players. And that's one against the break, so Bedhead will take the break in rank number 3. And I think the 9 ball's been kicked in. Eight ball, very close to the bottom right hand corner. It's going to be a combo in the 4 using a 10 ball. So Bedhead will be on the solids. And again, got to think about the problem balls, and he's immediately freed up the 2. And this is why you have to, you know, you really have to be on your toes in this game to take every opportunity to get rid of problem balls or deal with problem situations. It's probably one of the prime things you have to be aware of. Although, having said that, the 3's tied up with the 13, but there's a good opportunity to free that up off the 1 ball probably. The 2 ball, he's looking to see if it will squeeze down the rail past the 3. Well, it looks as if it does. But he's also got this 7 ball in the bottom rail. That's less of a problem. But probably doing the right thing and getting rid of it first, because it's the only ball that's at this end apart from the 8. And he's got, well, he's freed the 3 ball, but it's still blocked off with that what the hell ball is that? The 13? No, it's the 5. I thought that was a stripe, so my eyes have gone. So it's one of his own solids, so that's even better. I thought that was a 13 ball, and it's over on the left hand rail. But anyway, he's got the 6. Well, that's easy to take care of. But now the 2 doesn't pass the 3. So now he's got a bit of a dilemma, and whatever he does here, the cue ball's going to be running. Now he's looking at drawing maybe towards the 3 if he can. I haven't looked at the angle. I don't know whether he can draw over to it. He's going to lock himself out on it, so he's going to have to take the 1. And once again, the angle's not good, so he's now struggling to find a way to deal with this 2 ball. And the deeper you go into your run without being able to deal with those problem balls, that's very often the reason you lose the rack, because it's so difficult then to keep things safe and play a safety with all these other balls all wide open in the table. So it's going to be the bank. So this is the all or nothing shot. And it hasn't gone in. So Frankel, well, you know, 9 times out of 10 you've got to run this. It's only going to be a poor positional shot, a scratch or something like that that's going to prevent it. Now he's got that shot in the 13, he can deal with those 2 stripes at the top end as well. Take care of those. Now he's got more angle on this 11 than he wants, so this is about judging the pace. Now he can either try and underhit it so he stays the top side of these balls, which he's done. So now he's on that pink 12. He's just looking to see what the potting angle's like and how much of the pocket's available. Well, there's like sort of 7/8 of the pocket available. But he's against that idea and leaving it into the middle. So Frankel given the chance, has taken it for a 2-1 lead, and that is against the break again. I think the break goes to Frankel again in rack number 4. It certainly does. And it's dry. It's dry with a 12 stripe and a 5 locked on the left hand rail, but every other ball in the table is perfect. And Bedhead, we're going to have to give this table a fair study, because if he takes the solids now, looking at that 7 ball up there in the top left hand corner, I think it's too much an angle on it to actually play that with left English and get enough into the cue ball to nudge that 5 out next to the 12, the pink 12. He's playing it with a lot of left English. We'll see if he can. He needs to watch he doesn't miss cue, because that's overdoing it with the left English. Well, he's nudged right in behind the 12, managed to free up the 5. It's not really in that much of a better position because of where the 9 ball is and the 3 ball as well. So hard work ahead in this rack for Bedhead. And I think what Bedhead's main concern is the fact that if he makes one mistake here, he's pretty much given up the rack, because these stripes are all sitting pretty. Not one of them is a problem. And he's looking to try and possibly hide the cue ball, maybe behind that pink 12 on the left hand side, but now he's looking at something different. He's going to skim off the 6 and just try and tuck the cue ball in behind the 12. Well, he's gone for the 1 ball, got the 1. Now he's just going to try and baby the 3 ball in, but where's his next shot coming from? That's the question. He's got the 2 ball where his cue is at the moment. Well, there's a bit of luck. Hit it off the jaw, double kiss onto the cue ball, and the ball still goes into the nominated pocket. Still legal, but he's got no shot. He's got a thin shot in the 2, but he's looking at the safety, and is he trying to hide behind the 11? Might even try and punch the 2 ball up towards the 5 and try and kick the 5 into play. But the more important thing, obviously, with this shot is where the cue ball's going. Well, that isn't bad at all. Whatever Frankel chooses here, it's tough. I mean, the 11 ball goes, but that's such a tough angle to actually read that cut when you look at it. And I think the 11 might squeeze past the 8, but that's just as tough. And of course he can either call the bank or cut the 14 in. but the cue ball's going to run into the 2, so you then again aren't really guaranteeing where the cue ball's going to end up. So he's locked it behind the 11, and Bedhead only has the kick, and he's missed the kick, so ball in hand for Frankel. Now does that 9 pass the 2? That's the question. Oh, it goes past the 2 a million times. So this is an important visit already early on in this match to get a 2-rack lead. So straight away he's dealt with the 9. Now the angle he has on the 11, he can, well, he's got choices. If he comes out this way, he can get rid of the 12 and he can take the 10 into the middle and the 15 into the middle there. Well, he's not gone far enough, but he's probably played for the 13 anyway, but it's 6 1/2 a dozen, because he can still drop onto the 12 and go in that general direction, taking the 10 into this middle pocket. Good evening, Whiz Kid. Welcome aboard. Now he's going to have to run through a little bit here. Let's have a look. Yep, he has to just run through far enough, and he's gone far enough. He can even just a little feather of English if he wants. He certainly doesn't want to be leaving a high cut on this 15 ball. And that will do it. So the tight safety from Frankel is going to reap its reward. Bedhead didn't get the kick on the 2 ball, missed it. And with ball in hand, Frankel's going to open up a 2-rack gap. And he's going to be leading by 3 racks to 1. And the break goes back to Bedhead for rack number 5. And that rack's tilted to the left, you can see that from here. And a couple of balls have gone in, and one of them was the 8 ball itself. So that gets respotted. Still an open table. So the combo is being called on the 2 and the 14. So if he chooses the stripes, you've got 4 solids up this end of the table, and you've got this 12 ball here that he's now going to deal with, and then the 15, and he has to drop down here to get on that 13 ball, and that's going to be the important shot in the rack, the 13, the one that's there, as you can only get onto it from where the 8 ball is at the moment. That's really where he has to be, and he's the wrong side of the 15, so now things become a problem where you start having to manipulate the cue ball. As soon as you start having to put English in the cue ball, you're then having to make good judgments in control of the shot. Right, well, I presume he's played for the 11 ball, but it's all gone pear-shaped.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
So that is an error. He had a big gap to get that cue ball into, and the big gap was between the 6 and the 8, and he's failed. He can see the 9 ball. He's calling the 13, Not the 13, the bloody 11. So that could be a crucial positional error by Bedhead, and now he's got a problem. If Frankel can nail this rack, well, that 5 ball isn't a great combo where it's sat by the 1, so he's looking to take the 5 out right now, which is probably a good idea because it opens up the 1 ball. 7 ball's not a problem, even though it's down at the bottom end here. He'll have to take that soon enough. But has to get the 3 and avoid hitting the 1. It's not a great angle, this 3 ball, to drop behind the 1. So he's going to have to go by alternate means. And now he's got a chance to nudge the 1 out if he wants. He knows he's going to be in the 7 ball. And he's not bothering. He's got a slight angle. He can certainly spin across to the right hand side to get the 1. And then leave the 6 into the left middle. Just stunned it across now. That will do it. But the problem now is he's dead straight virtually, and he's going to be close to the rail when playing this 6 ball. This isn't quite over yet, this rack. Well, he's managed to just pinch a little angle to get that cue ball out. And now he has to be careful. And this is just a little testy one, just to get that feel of the shot. So this 8 ball is going to give him 4-1. And again, it's against the break. So that's another one that Frankel's pinched. And he's breaking in rack number 6. Yeah, the one thing about the break, if you've looked at the 9 ball now, I think the rack isn't quite as tilted as it was at the beginning when he implemented that. It's a lot less now. You see it a lot less in 9 ball. You notice it probably more on the 15 ball rack. It's a lot easier to spot. But anyway, we're in rack number 6. Couple of balls have gone in. Open table still. Frankel is looking at calling the 10 ball combination shot. Now I don't know whether he's going to play it with the 6, because I don't think the 2 can get there. And this is dead set. He just needs to hit the 4. So that nudge onto the 8 almost put him out of line. He's still got the shot on the 11, which is also pretty good because he can drop onto that 13 ball. He's going to leave a little cut on it. Well, it's a bit higher than he would really like. So now he's got to judge the pace of this right, because he's only going to have 1 shot. If he doesn't, he's going to try and drop down here. If he goes too far, he's got the 12. But he's looking at getting a 14 ball first. And he's just not gone far enough for comfort's sake here. And now he's got to be careful. The cue ball just wants to run there and down here. And he has to get the pace into the ball to get the 14 in the pocket. Is he trying to nudge the 7? Playing it with left English. Or is he trying to stun onto the bottom rail and come across? That might be the plan. Depends on the pace he's going to put in it. If he stuns it, he's going to hit that rail, and the spin will take him that direction. But I don't like the look of that, because he's got too much angle in the 14. So this is a disaster waiting to happen. It's either going to be good or it's going to end up ugly. One of the two. And he's trying to just drop onto it, and that's not bad. At least he's got a shot. Now, ideally, he can nudge the 4 if he can hold the line and just hold on the 8. And he's not got the cut. And that's where the margins are so tiny. You just get that slight wrong angle, and you're then got problems to deal with. And that was his downfall there. Just having to get on that ball in such a way. And that was all because of how he ended up in that 14 ball. Just didn't roll far enough. If he'd gone further down, he was perfect. So, needless to say, from that situation, Bedhead simply has to take this out. He's got to take it. He's got the open table, and he has to get onto that 7 ball. Well, this is a big shot to be taken on at this stage, because he's got that 5 ball up at the top end he could take and deal with the 2 ball in another way. I mean, this is a big risk, trying to drop that 2 in behind the 12. Yep, I think that's a wiser shot choice. But this is so important, this visit. Got to get a shot on that 7. That is the main problem. How does he get on that 7? And he's looking for ways to get there, and there isn't really a great way at the moment. He can see the 4. Now, he can make the angle off the 4. But the problem there is he's taking a risk in dropping on the 7. So he's going to play the safety. And he needs to make sure that there isn't an option to kick at this 12 ball from that side. So he's got rid of it and left Frankel nothing. And the odds right now are stacked in Bedhead's favour. He's got control. And it's going to be, well, anybody's guess as to what Frankel's going to do here to try and pot this. But at least he's called a pocket. Well, of course he has to anyway, because it's his last ball. But really he's just going to be hitting and hoping he gets lucky. Well, I'll be honest with you. I think all you do is call a pocket, give the 8 ball a slam, and get your prayer book out. That's the best advice I could give him. And do you know what? That has not turned out bad. That is not a bad effort. Bedhead has got nothing. Okay, Bedhead's still in control. He can still keep Frankel locked up if he gets it right. But this time, Frankel should have an easier kick. And he's got it. Now, if he can get this right, he can either, well, it looks odds on to call it into the corner. He just has to pick that point. So it's going to be a call into the corner. Well, what a bonus this would be if he can get this in. This would be a dagger to the heart of Bedhead if Frankel can pull this one off. 4 racks to 1 up, and this would be a bonus. No, nobody. I've not seen anybody jump in this table yet, Potman. Well, that he was well off the mark there with that one. I thought he'd have made a better effort than that. So now this rack is all but over. A little soft draw off the 2, and he can finish between the 4 and the 1. Or he can do it off the 7, but you're looking for problems here. As long as he's careful, there shouldn't be any. Again, 2 choices as to how he gets on the 2. He can run around the angles, he can just leave it long, or he can come out into the middle of the table. So whatever he prefers, whatever's the simplest and the most comfortable to play. But most important, Bedhead's getting 1 back. Deficit will be reduced to just the 2. Well, on the tiny toy table in this tournament, without a jump queue, because there's no jump queues in it either. I don't think. I'm pretty certain there isn't. So Bedhead has broke off in rack number 7. Ball has gone down and he's got no shot. And this is the type of thing, well, Larry's in the room watching this, and this is the type of thing that was happening to Larry. You know, getting a break and getting a ball and having absolutely no shot when he was playing Bedhead. But of course, no real danger in just playing that safety because there's balls locked up here. We've got the 9 and the 2. And we've got the 13 and the 10, sorry, the 12 and the 10 in the left-hand rail. So there's going to be a little bit of tactical stuff going on here, but somebody's got to be committed and make the move. And Bedhead has made the choice. He's on the solids, and of course his 2 ball is tucked next to the 9. 5 ball over on the left rail as well. And the 1 ball down here by the green 14 stripe along with the 7. Now let's look at that 7 ball. Well, that is awkward to get to as well. So he's going to have to try and do something, and he could certainly roll the 6 in past the 8 and get on the 1. But he's not risking it. And I think the other reason is he can't get anything to actually break out these problem balls here. And he's prepared to just bide his time and wait on a better opportunity. So Frankel on the stripes. Well, this shot's going to free up the 1 ball. Well, it won't, because he's just feathered it. And I think Bedhead's looking to play a shot that forces Frankel into playing a safety off one of his balls that's locking up Bedhead's solid, which is a good ploy. But we've seen that Frankel's not going to be drawn into that. He's just going to tickle these balls and just not move them. He's not prepared to take the risk. And this is going to be a test of patience to see who can hold out the longest without taking that risk. But at some point you've got to. Oh, you can sense that things are getting a bit tense now. The gravity of the situation for Bedhead is he doesn't want to do anything that's going to give Frankel that opportunity to widen the gap again. So very much keeping it on the defensive. And Frankel there just used his 11 ball to edge off it and nudge in that 7. And that now opens up that pocket. So Frankel's made 1 move. And of course the visit ends and it goes to Bedhead. And that puts a little bit of difference on the situation, because now if Frankel gets a shot, he's going to have an opportunity to break something out, especially where that 11 ball is. And Bedhead can pot the 5. Now, can he get it and avoid hitting the 8 and getting into that 9 and 2? This doesn't look great. Lots of right English, but he was always going to collide with that 8 ball. That's trying to do the impossible. The 8 ball was just a big blocker off that end rail when you're trying to sneak in behind the 9 and the 2. So that's an opportunity missed by Bedhead. And of course his other problem now is where he's finished, he can't get to the 3 and he can't see his 1 ball and he can only see the 2. So now it's just going to be a gentle feather. He does not want to loosen this up. Now, a tactic here for Frankel would be to try and obviously block Bedhead off and hide him somewhere where it forces him into actually loosening up this 2 ball in the side rail along with the 9. Frankel doesn't want to be touching that. He wants to force Bedhead into doing that. And of course now Bedhead only has that 3 ball. And the 1 ball, let's have a look. Well, he's done his best there to nudge it. Well, we know the 1 ball pots, and that's the least of his problems. But he's got absolutely no chance of getting onto this 2. Now, can he avoid the 14? No, he can't. He's just going to try and hide in behind it. That's a good shot. Nothing on for Frankel. He's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to bring this cue ball up the table and leave Bedhead any way of potting this one and getting into them from that angle. Well, Bedhead, he can stun the 1 ball into the 9 and the 2, and he can lock the cue ball behind the 14. That's his chance to open them up. He's looking at taking on the pot, but I think it'd be a far more productive thing to do is to actually just take the risk and split those 2, but leave the cue ball next to the 14. He's not really going to leave anything on. Oh, that's worked out perfect. That is absolutely perfect. 1 ball. That would have been a missed call, of course, had the 1 ball dropped in, but it's hanging over the pocket. The 2's hanging over the middle pocket, more or less. And Frankel's got absolutely no shot here. He's going to have to call the combo off the 14, off the 11, and try and squeeze that 14 into the middle pocket past the 2. And that's the only option he has. Off that edge of the 11 and miss the 2 and into the pocket. And this is going to decide who's going to win this rack. This shot here. Well, he's potting it at an angle. I like looking straight down the line at this. Straight down the line to the edge of that 11 ball looks good enough for me. I don't think you have to do anything. I think you just have to push the 14 towards the 11, and it's going to hit the edge of the 11 and drop into the middle or go very close to it. I don't think he's looking around the table. I cannot see what his other options are. Where can he go to try and hide this cue ball? But straight at it looks like the shot. Well, he's calling the safety, but I don't know where he's going to go to hide. This will be a good shot. Well, it is a good shot because he's locked off the 1. He's blocked to 2. Well, it's now turned out to be the wisest move. That 14 onto the 11 was a risky shot, but now he's forced Bedhead into pulling out a massey around this 14, and this cue ball could drop in behind the 1 as well. It could follow it in. And that was always going to be the danger.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
So, Frankel has good safety, has given him the opportunity to widen the gap after a, well, what seemed like 10-15 minutes of safety going on. So ball in hand off the scratch, and just looking as to how he's going to run this table. And of course, would ideally like to get on that 10 first of all and get away from the 8 so he's not running into it. If the 10 ball's going to be his last ball, he has to get good on it. And if anything, he's going to nudge the 8 towards this way. But if he gets out of shape, it can go drastically wrong. And he's too straight in the 13, so he's having to squeeze an angle. But that's perfect. He can just drop it in and roll onto the end rail. And so Frankel's patience has paid off, and he's going to go into a 5 racks to 3 lead, to 2 with a 3 rack lead, and he's now got the break. So now there is a crisis afoot here for Bedhead. 15 ball has gone in, another one's followed it in as well. Cue balls on the table, and well, this table is good for a run out. There isn't a problem, and that is not good for Bedhead. Frankel just making his mind up what the choice is going to be. And to me it looks like solids are the favourite here. And solids it is. Now this 1 ball is the only one of his balls on this left hand side of the table. Well, he's checked the cue ball up. And now he just rolls a 2 in. Well, he stunned it in, deciding to take the 6. I thought he might have actually taken the 7 there and get rid of it. But he's going to have to leave the the 8 ball long once he pots this 7. And he doesn't, if he's going to roll through off the 3, he does not want to leave a lot of angle on this 7 ball. And that's why he's trying to keep it fairly straight, because he can either go off the end rail or just a little roll through. So he's going to leave it the long 8, which is the simplest way to do it. So it's going to be a break and run, and what a crucial rack this is as well, after pinching that last rack. And it's now gone to 6-2, and the crisis deepens, but absolutely nothing Bedhead can do about it. And that rack looks a little bit tilted again to me. So the break has gone back to Bedhead, and a ball has gone in. 15 balls gone in. And once again, this table is perfect. Perfect in the sense that no ball's locked up. Every ball has a pocket. A quick look around the table. Pick your path to win the rack. That's what it's all about. I think the main concern really would be that 13 ball next to the 8 ball if he goes for the stripes. Well, he's nudged the 13, and that's where it's backfired on him, because he's nudged it safe next to the 14 ball, I think that is, the green stripe. So he's not getting that little bit of run that he wanted, but what's happened there has been his own doing. And he wanted to go further on that 10 ball. I think he could have tried to split them, but now he's got a thin cut in the 14. But if he'd finished lower down in the 10, he could have run through to split them. But now he's dealt with it, and he's now got a dilemma. That 13 ball goes in past the 3, but look at where he is on this 10. Now he can run it through with a little feather of right English to come across to get on this 13. No, he's not taking it. He's going for the 12 and has to drop onto that rail. It looks as if he's coming back the way and over to the left middle pocket. And well, these are still testers. The chances are, though, this is going to get in off the 3 ball anyway. If he knocks it off the rail slightly, it should still go in. He's got to still remember about the 8 ball. Vital that he takes this out. So it's been helped in by the 3, and he's dropped onto the 8. And a big sigh of relief for Bedhead. And it's back to 3. 6-3 to Frankel. But of course the alternate break just doesn't help you when you're trailing. So much emphasis on getting a ball in the break, and when you're 6-3 down and your opponent comes in and drops 3 balls in the break and has a wide open table, there's not a thing you can do about it. You just have to sit there and bear it. So open table, 3 balls gone, and once again there is not a problem in the table. So it's going to be the stripes. Wrong angle on this 11 ball. So there's a little bit of manoeuvring needing done. And he's just going to have to baby this 13 ball into the middle. Unless, well, he's taking the 9 first, so it's going to be a long 13. Or a couple of choices into the left middle. Now what's the best ball though to get back up onto the 8? And this is where you've just got to still stay on your toes. Now the danger here is trying to get good on that 8 ball off this 13. This is why he's getting rid of the 13. And if he can drop good, not too much angle in the 14, then he's okay. He can draw off the 14. Now, does he want to run around the corner and come out for this 8? Because that's risky. No, he's going to do the little draw. It's the safest route to get there. And that is perfect. So, a very quick response from Frankel. A break and run. And the gap goes to 4. Back to Bedhead. That looks straight, that rack. Now this, again, the breaks, the last 2 or 3 breaks have actually ended up being good. Because, I mean, the balls are all sitting pretty good. The only issue would be taking the stripes and where the 9 ball is. And when you look at the solids, well, I don't think he really had a shot in a solid there, so he's on the stripes. Now, can he just drop that? That is very tight to try and drop that into the middle. That just has to get to the edge and let the weight of the ball pull it into the pocket. That is so tight. Is it cutting past the 8 ball? Well, it's dropped in. And on the 11. Well, the problem ball now is going to be the pink 12 stripe ball there. Now if he pots the 13, far too much angle on it to try and hold for a position on this 12 ball. Really tough to judge. So much pressure now on Bedhead to try and take this rack out at this chance, and it's all going to hinge on one shot, and this is it. He's leaving the tight drop into the middle pocket, and he's just having to control the cue ball from running through and block himself out in the 14. But in it goes, and he should be home and dry. So the racks are going to and fro here, and they're going with the break. The last few racks, breaks and runouts. So both players have upped their game, and it's back to 7-4. And well, the ball has gone in. And 11 ball has gone into the left middle, but we've got a problem on the left hand side on the stripes, locked up with the 6 ball. Now Frankel's looking at the 9. What's he calling here? Calling the bank on the 15. He's going to be hitting the 6 and the 13 anyway, and he's missed the bank. Now there's still an open table. So combo called on the 12 ball, and that's not helped his situation. The 9 still locked up with the 3. So Bedhead on the stripes. Got an angle on the 13 to try and free up the 9 ball. He should be on the 14 or the 15. And he's way off the mark with that. I'm pretty certain he tried to break the 9 ball out there. As I say, he's still got a shot on the 14. But the likelihood of him breaking that 9 ball out with the 15 is fairly slim. Well, now you'd think it's just got to be a safety. Well, Frankel, I thought for a second there he was going to just run that 5 ball onto the 15 and concede possession to Bedhead. It wouldn't be a bad move to do that, because it then only leaves Bedhead the 9 ball to play on. So tactically, that's a shot to play. Well, it's not gone in, and although Bedhead can obviously pot it, he can't do anything with the 9 ball. Well, he's calling the reverse bank. Can he get it past that 2 ball? That is way too tight. This has got to be nailed on the button. It's sitting on the first diamond, but he has to miss that 2 ball. Yeah. Very, very tough shot. And now all of Frankel's balls are sitting there. Eight ball right in the middle of the table. I mean, he's got every option in the book here with what he wants to do with this cue ball and how he wants to run it out. He can go wherever he wants. Every ball that's left pretty much gives him good position in the 8, so odds on to run out here. And I think he was thinking about potting the 6 and running out for the 1, but you have to get good on the 1 from that end of the table. So that's why he's taking the 7 first. And likewise now he's now looking at the 6 and has to get good on the 1. If he starts having to run around corners and things, that's where things can go wrong. And this is not a gimme, this 1 ball. But he's got the pace in the cue ball, and he's out into the heart of the table, and an easy 8 ball to take him to 8-4 in front. And rack number 13, Bedhead to break, and quite simply he has to break and run. That's the stage that he's at in this match. Has to break and run, and then has to rely on dry breaks from Frankel. It's the only way he's going to get back into it. That's his only option, because you can't expect Frankel to be making that many mistakes that he's going to lose 4 racks. Pretty much at the point of no return, Bedhead. It has to be no miss, and has to take his chance when he gets it, every opportunity. So on the stripes, well, if we're looking at the end of this rack, it could be potting the 13 and just running the cue ball through for the 8 into the right middle. And this 15 ball just gives him, well, it gives him an option to draw back and drop onto the 9. He might end up having to take the 13. So then the last ball could be the 11 and just leave the 8 ball into that corner. And now he's almost blocked off in this 9 ball. Well, that's what it's going to have to be. He's looking at the 11 from there. I don't like it. I'd much rather, let's have a look at this 13. And this is not easy either, to pot the 13 and just get yourself in the gap. There's plenty of room, but it's a little fiddly, testy one to get on this 11. And he's not there. That's the problem. He actually stunned that too much and didn't get enough draw. I mean, the worst that could have happened, he would have drawn into the 8 ball and maybe moved it somewhere. Well, he's going to have to spin this. I don't think he can see enough of that, and my eyes are all over the place if he can see enough of that to pot it. Well, he's using the jump. Well, trying to use his playing cue to jump. And his chance may well have just gone there. And like he says, that hurt. And that's only a fraction of millimetres that was the undoing of Bedhead there, and that is one of these days where you ain't getting the breaks. So that's how the game goes. Any other day he would have been able to see that 11 ball and would have took it out. Not today. This looks all too easy, this setup. Does the 6 go past the 5? No problem. Yes, it does. Probably end up taking the 6 into the opposite corner pocket. He can draw into that space right now off the 3 ball if he wants. He's be unlucky not to be on anything. Just get into that gap. Well, this match has been on for approximately an hour and 20 minutes. And pretty much for most of it, Bedhead's been swimming against the tide, trying to get himself back into this match. And it just is not going to happen for him today. Well, it isn't happening for him so far. Just a little soft stun onto the right hand rail as we look would do the job. Leave a simple enough 8 ball. So this for 9-4. And the odds now are stacked so high against Bedhead with the alternate break. Something drastically has to change in the run of the ball here if he's going to have any chance of getting back in this. That looks a straight rack as well. Break off from Frankel. And 3 balls have gone down, and look at the table. Well, by the end of this visit, Frankel should be on the hill. He really should. And for that matter, the only problem area is where the 14, the 5 and the 6 are sitting. He's chosen the solids. You can get rid of the 5 immediately. And we can see the 6 ball goes past the 8 into this middle pocket. Let's have a look. A better look at it. Well, it's fairly tight, but it goes. If he has to do that. Well, he's having a look at the 6. Just double checking the gap that he's got, but he can certainly get on the 6 from where he is and take it into the middle. So now would be the time to just drop right in behind it off this 1, just kill it stone dead. Exactly where the 1 ball is, that would give him a little angle. Well, he's gone the other way, and now he's going to be running into the 14 ball. Now if he runs through off the 14 ball, that's risky. He's just going to try and kill it off the 14 ball and just leave the cut. And that has worked out fine. So Frankel is going to be 1 rack away. And now leads by 10 racks to 4. And Bedhead breaking in rack number 15. But those guys that are left on the 1 loss side, Bedhead isn't the guy you want to be running into in your next match. He's still going to be a fair contender if that's where he ends up. So one ball, the 15 ball has gone down on the break. Again, it's a table that is very nice. Very good table. All the balls free and open, provided you can just get yourself on them. So stripes it is. Get rid of the 10, get rid of the 12. And that's 2 of your balls away from the bottom end of the table. Now does that... Oh, of course that's the 9, the 11 and the 13 that are up at the top end. That's why he's thinking of taking the 13 first, but that again it's risky because the cue ball's running off the rail and coming in amongst here and can end up blocked. This he's taking a risk. He's playing it with inside to avoid hitting the 9. And has to get on one of those balls down there, and he hasn't, and that's where it's all gone wrong. That was the danger of taking that ball. He was trying to free up the pocket for the 9, but playing it with that left English, there was a very tight margin to get into, to get a shot on that 10 ball. And Frankel will be licking his lips, ready to pounce. Well, that's a good effort. It's going to be a scratch. I'll get that to work.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Well, it looks like it's all over on the winner's side for Bedhead. Frankel with ball in hand on the solids, and straight away he wants to get rid of the problem ball, the 4 ball. He can do that. He'll need to do it sooner rather than later though. He can tidy up this end of the table first if he wants. So it's going to be the 4 ball now. If he just kills the cue ball there, he can run the 3 in, but he's going to be again close to the rail. So he's probably going to run through and maybe even take the 6 into the left middle. Oh no, he's found a gap. Well, a slow roll in, he's got a choice of the 2. If he comes off the rail and out, he's got a choice of the 7. Oh dear.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Well, all of a sudden Frankel's taking his eye right off the ball, and it's an unexpected chance for Bedhead. He's been thrown a lifeline, an unexpected one, no doubt about that. But Frankel, I think, was playing that, he's maybe playing that with a bit of inside English, and that's one reason why he would have sent the object ball offline. But either way, it's an unforced error. So Bedhead with a chance to at least get one back. And this is a little touch shot. Pot in the 10. Getting good on the 11. And he's now going to be hampered over this 8 ball. And this is not a gimme. It's not a gimme for the pot because he's looking down in the shot. And the other problem is getting good on the 8 ball off this. And he's even worse now. He's hooked over the, or hooked, he's queuing over the 2. It's got to judge that connection to get the pot with no English on the cue ball as well. You've got to be careful with that you don't put unwanted English on it. But in goes the 8 ball comfortably. So that's one back that Bedhead certainly didn't think he was going to get a chance here. Match should have been over. But the unexpected does happen in this game. And Frankel breaking off in rack number 16, and we've lost 3 balls in the break. Well, if he goes for the solids, all the work's down at the bottom end of the table apart from that 2 ball, because then he can get to the 8 ball no problem down here. I think he's got to take the solids, because if he takes the stripes, how the hell's he going to get on that 8 ball? Yep. And that will get rid of the 4. He can then take the 2 if he wants, or he can run the 3 into the left middle, but either way he has to deal with that 2 ball. The only problem with this shot is because he's too straight in the 4, there isn't a lot he can do with the cue ball. I try to draw back. Couldn't avoid the 1, but he's not done a lot of damage. He's still got a simple enough pot. And may well avoid the 5 as well. Oh yeah, plenty of room. A little drawback off the 2. This is about judging the pace and control to get somewhere into the middle of the table. If he overdoes it, he's still got the 5. He just wants to get to about here or there, just somewhere where he can pot this 3 and drop onto the 5 would be ideal. This is not easy to judge. Well, he's gone the long way, and that's actually worked out perfect because it's just a straight roll through. And he's on the 5, and as long as he doesn't go too far, if anything, he can leave it a little bit short, but he's perfect. A little roll in. So in the end, Frankel has won this match by 11 racks to 5. And really not a lot that Bedhead could have done in this match. Didn't get those 1 or 2 little lucky breaks early on, and that's been the undoing of him. And only one sort of real mistake that Frankel has made in the match. But he's won the match 11 racks to 5, and he will now face semi-pro. And we'll have a look at the bracket and we'll see how that shapes up now. Where are we? So that match is now updated. We've got Frankel through to play semi-pro, and that will be for the hot seat match to see who gets to the final. And over on the 1 loss side, if we drop down somewhere down here, we'll see that Bedhead is in the 1 loss side final, so he's going to have a wait until his next match because I've got all these other matches to go first of all. So nothing else on the schedule on the bracket. And with that, folks, thank you for your company. Thanks for watching. And well, as soon as I can get the information, or if players arrange their match on the bracket, I'll hopefully have another match in the tournament soon enough. So until then, we will see you again soon, no doubt.